Damn, I didn't make it. It's alright. It's only like a couple seconds off, but that's what I'm saying. Is I'm sure you could figure out a way to incorporate the principles of what you're doing right now. Like how can you merge all those things into one? That's what I don't know. I haven't really even thought of that. Yeah. It's easy. Watch. I just figured it out. What did you figure out? I just figured it out. How to merge them all. What do you mean? I just figured it out. No, you didn't. How do you know? I think I just figured it out. Just do shit for me. Like this. Okay. I feel you. Do all the things that you know, like when you watch a movie and it's like, oh man, I wouldn't have fucking ended it like that. I would have did this or did that. Start doing that. Think of all the things that you hate and then just do it better. You can do it. I believe in you. You figured out how to make Satan God. Trust me. If you can do that, there's not really much else that you can't do. Dirty little witch you. No, but what I'm saying is just you want to be sovereign? You want to be free of all this stuff? Start doing everything on your own. What about food though? Stop eating. Okay. I hate doing that though. Well, think of it like this. Start starving yourself until you start getting shit done. And then promise yourself like, all right, I'll eat when I get XYZ done. Don't quit or get fired by the end of the week. Make it to the end of the week without quitting or getting fired and I'll buy you something to eat. That's not the worst idea. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it though. Then you won't. Yeah, but I don't want to do that. Well, not wanting to do something and not being able to do it are two different things. You could do it, you just don't want to do it. You're choosing not to do it. I don't see what kind of benefit that's going to have. Yeah. I do. By starving yourself, what you're going to do is like teach yourself a valuable lesson as to why it's not a good idea to continue eating like the shit that you're eating. Maybe you do need to run out of money. This way you have absolutely nothing. Maybe living on the streets wouldn't be a bad idea for you. But you got to do it far away where nobody can find you. And you can't rely on anybody else. I hate that idea so much. Why? That might be exactly what you need. That might be what the next part of your life journey is all about. You want to be sovereign? Go be sovereign with these other sovereign people. You see how they are? They're free. They're freer than everybody else. I hate this conversation. Then stop having it. Listen, How about I put it to you like this? Just because we're having the conversation doesn't mean you actually have to starve yourself. All you really need to do, and I think we should probably already know this one already, but I don't mind reminding you, is that it's just the capacity to be able to accept that it's a possibility and that you're willing to do it if need be. Makes sense. I mean, look at what happened in LA. Technically, you were balls deep in there, bud. It's just that you were guided back. And that's another thing that you're forgetting. Is like, how do we instill this in you? Because you keep on forgetting like the most important points of all of this stuff. Is like, you're not really even in control. Like, you want to come up with all these plans and this and that, and that. Are those even your ideas? Was this even your idea? The idea was inspired. And why did you, how about this? Let's start simple. What did you start this for in the beginning? Like in that very first video, like in your kitchen. That whole Great Awakening. That. Well, the original idea was to have a Patreon. And then have people pay me through that. Alright, there you go. There's something. You think I should do that? Why the fuck not? I mean, it only took you 5 years to get comfortable talking to a camera. Well, I mean, no, I'm sorry. It took about a year to get comfortable talking in front of a camera. It took another 5 years to get comfortable talking to yourself in front of the camera. Well, I mean, no, I was doing that then. Were you? Maybe you can go back and rewatch all the things that you made. Ugh, God. Why? Reread your fucking journals. And all that cringe, that cringe could be exactly what you need. I know, but I feel like it's gonna take fucking forever, man. What the fuck? And I can't, listen, here's the problem, is I can't sit around all day. I sure as shit can't sit in that house all day. And as much as I love these gummies, they're really not fucking getting me that high anymore. But now, at the same time, I don't think that's really the gummies' fault or my fault. I think that's actually a good sign. That's a really positive sign, because what that's telling me is that this experiment's been working. So what I've been doing over the past, like, about almost 3 months is, like, eating gummies every single day. So when I was still home, in my home, my old home, and I was trying to better understand what was going on in my life, I recognized that smoking pot helped a lot, because it helped me connect dots that I couldn't connect when I was sober, or I wasn't even thinking about when I was sober. So what I did was an experiment where I would smoke pot all day, from the minute I wake up till I go to bed, for 5 days straight. Just 5 days. Because what I thought was, because I was able to make these connections when I was high, then why not just spend as much time high making as many connections as humanly possible, plus writing about everything that I was finding, so that these concepts and principles, they would solidify themselves in my mind. And it worked like a fucking charm. So I started doing the same thing. I just started doing the same thing again. I had an opportunity. I had some money to invest, and I decided to invest in myself with eating gummies every single day, and then continuing and doing work. Because because it's because the mindset that I was stuck in back then, like even just 3 months ago. I mean, if you read my journals from 3 months ago and then read my journals from yeah, it was a little bit difficult to fucking see. It's difficult to see sometimes because I was living two lives at once. I was living my life in the store, and then I was living my life in the hotel. And then once I came home and there was no more store to go to, I was able to devote all of that time and energy that I was putting into the store back into myself, which I think we did a really good job at doing, by the way. Thank you. So for the past 3 months, I've been doing. I started doing it again. I put all my shit into myself, but then also keeping myself at an elevated state of consciousness, because that's really the purpose of the pot in the first place, was to elevate my conscious awareness so that I could start holding on to those breakthroughs. Because part of what I do, part of my personal practice is also bringing the subconscious mind up to the surface. So getting high is like one of the best ways of doing that. So that's like one of the best ways of doing that. And then combining marijuana with my work, my inner and external work, my internal and external work, it's like, it's easier to apply the principles of the external work to the internal work, but then also at the same time applying the internal work to the external work. Which was kind of what the Hugo Boss experiment was all about, was seeing how well I was doing with all my internal work to see if I could take that out into the outside world, working for somebody else, which is something that I detest incredibly. But I feel like that was more, all right, well, I get that. I think that was more of an exercise in learning how to work for somebody else so that I can better work for myself. Because, oh my God, yeah. So, because the big part of working for somebody is you got to be their robot, basically. And so why not just be your own robot? Why not be my own robot? Like, I have unlimited potential to do basically anything I want. It's not like there's people banging down my door to spend time with me. All the time I spend is on here or by myself. Even my family's not like, hey, come and hang out with us. But I don't see that as a problem, because it gives me the time and privacy I need to do what I need to do. I don't have a girlfriend or a partner or anything, so, I mean, aside from myself. Your old girlfriend? Yeah, kind of. I treat myself the way that I would want a girlfriend to treat me. I love you. Thank you. You look really handsome today. Thank you. Now, I guess I kind of feel like I'm at a wall again. But what do I always say when I hit a wall? Is like, go back to where you started and then work your way back up to where we are. Because the keys to the future are locked away in the past. I mean, I feel like that's something that we should probably like just know that, just not even think about that anymore, because it just is. All right, so how far back do we go? Let's go back to the beginning of this. What got you back started into doing this? Amina. All right. Because everything she was saying, right, and then what did she say this morning? God slowed everything down so that I can enjoy the view. Yeah, so enjoy the view. Take a look. What do you see? What I see is A gentleman that got everything that he needed to get done so that he can enjoy his life the way that he always wanted to. Eureka! Give yourself a pat on the back for that one, bud. Because consider, like, you don't even know what tomorrow brings. You know how crazy shit gets just from one day to the next? I mean, who the fuck knows? Like, you might get elected fucking interim president of the fucking world tomorrow. There's nothing that's not impossible. But going back to one of the teachings of Darth Plagueis is like, you gotta be here right now for a moment. And right now we're trying to figure out how the hell we got here. Because what did Amina say? They need to get motivated and start doing stuff. And what happened? You got the fuck up and you came out and started doing this. And you've been doing it for fucking almost 3 weeks now. Or 2. That's good. You should be very proud of yourself. Because what you're demonstrating right now, what you've been demonstrating over these past 2 weeks is that you're willing to do things without getting paid for it as long as it's meaningful to you. Remember when you worked at the radio station and you were a fucking intern for almost 2 years and you didn't get paid? But you stayed because you loved it. I know, but I'm just so fucking tired. Or I get caught in a thought, or... And when has that ever proven to be a bad thing? I mean, usually when you go into those deep thoughts, something always occurs. Right, and then I come back out here. All right, well, maybe this is the conversation that you need to be having with yourself, because maybe now you'll be able to... Maybe now that we're planting kind of seeds and like telling the inside self what it is that we really want to be doing, that now we can start crafting reality around that instead. Because imagine that this was just a trial, just to see like, all right, let's see how he does. Let's see what he does. Is he going to stay loyal to himself? I mean, remember that message that popped, that notification that popped up? I don't know where the fuck it came from. You passed all the tests, all the loyalty tests. So, okay. Like you don't owe anybody anything. Look at Kim for a minute, right? You don't talk? I don't talk. Look at Uncle Hugo. Hey, you don't call me to do stuff? I got other shit to do. People don't want to talk to you? Hey, fuck it, talk to yourself. You're going to get more done talking to yourself than you are going to be getting done talking to other people. I think that's another fucking thing. It's not like people give, it's not like people give like really constructive feedback on the things that you say. And you're in the exact spot you want to be in. I think the hard part for you right now is just accepting it for what it is, because you didn't hit the jackpot. I mean, you really did. Think about every single person you know. What are they doing right now? It's Tuesday at around 2 o'clock, 2:30, 2:23. Like, I would bet you that every single person you know is doing something that they hate doing just so they can get paid to do it. And maybe not every person, but most people that you know are doing something they hate doing or would rather be doing something else. There's about 8 billion people in the world, and you might be one of the few that are actually doing something that you want to be doing. And at the moment, you actually have the opportunity to start integrating other things you want to be doing into what you're doing. And I love this whole idea of getting back into music. I think that's a really good outlet for you. I think you would be a great music maker. Especially if you apply a lot of the shit that you've learned over the past couple of years. I think you'd be fucking amazing at it. I think you'd be amazing. You're gonna be amazing. You're amazing at everything you do. Like, is that what we're doing right now? What do you think? I don't know. I kind of feel like I think we're doing a pretty good job demonstrating on how one fills their own cup. Yeah. You didn't even realize you were doing that. All right, so let's imagine. Let's put yourself in a position, right? Just imagine this. Just fuck with it. Just indulge me, please. Let's presume you don't ever have to worry about money again. Let's just say. Right? Do you feel worried about money? A little bit. There's a little twinge with this whole Jew school. Then fuck it. Stop paying a Jew school. It's not like it was much fun anyway. You listen to this fucking dude drone on. But even with that, like, let's just say you held on to it, because it is a good investment. Let's just imagine that, let's imagine that no matter what happens, as of this moment on, right? You're always going to have enough money. What would you be doing? I don't know, man. I feel like I'd be just doing what I'm doing right now. Okay, but that's a good start. What else could you be doing? Well, I guess I would go back to Salem. Try to book that haunted room. Okay, that's a good start. Find some inspiration. Maybe find a teacher. Or maybe find a way to apply the things I know to enhance the things that are already going on there. But where's the money coming from? It doesn't matter. Just focus on right now. Because this is part of the experiment to prove that it's going to happen. Well, I wanted to go do that thing that I saw me and Magic do, which was like swimming in Antarctica. Okay. Travel. You love travel? Yeah. I would travel. I would go places. For what purpose? To see what would happen. See what kind of people I would meet. See what kind of wisdom is imparted on me. See what kind of wisdom I can impart on the places that I go. Alright. I like it. What if... How do you think that maybe programming, video game stuff, and music could help you do that? I can make music that people like. I can make music that I like. I can make video games that I like. I can make programs that I like. But that's a lot of learning. Is it? I mean, yeah. syntax and computer jargon. What if you learn computer languages like you learn human languages? This way you can say you're fluent. I guess so. I mean, yeah, I don't see why not. What if you develop a software language that runs off the principles of metaphysics? I don't even know where to begin with that. I don't think you would need to. I think all you need to do is just learn some things and then go and do the thing. And it would just work. Remember how you did that moon cycle thing the other day? And it just worked? Don't know how it worked, but... And it not only did it work, but it worked out better than what you were expecting because you were putting hidden features that would unlock in certain ways. And all you did was use a fucking Facebook post. You made a fucking maze that actually accurately demonstrates the emotional cycles of lunar cycles that mirror lunar cycles. Like, you fucking did pretty good, bud. Not gonna lie. And then you figured out a way to make it work in reverse. It was pretty awesome. Was pretty fucking awesome. That was probably one of the coolest things. Alright, now imagine that was the coolest thing. Alright. How can you make it better? By doing the same thing with not a Facebook post. Okay? By actually developing an interactive experience that simulates magic. The magic operation. Okay, you're getting there. And then eventually use magic to learn these things in a unique way that no one's ever considered using them before, and then applying those principles into creating something that nobody else but me would be able to make because I'm not following the generic rules that everybody else is following. Look at your goddamn self. Did I tell you I came up with a solution? You did. You did. You definitely did say that. Yeah. Listen, just because I came up with a solution like 10 minutes ago doesn't mean you're just going to get handed it on a fucking silver platter. You gotta work for that shit, bud. Sometimes it works. It worked this morning, right? Remember when you were thinking of that? What were you thinking of? I remember. I was writing. There was a thing with Phobos. For some reason I couldn't remember. Not Phobos or Deimos' name, I couldn't remember that. But then I started telling myself that I remembered, and I remember what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be doing this so that that thing I just figured out makes more sense, and I can more easily put the picture together in my head. Because if I can put the picture together in my head, then it's just a matter of time until I can find the words to do it. But maybe it's just that the language that I'm using isn't the right language. So maybe that's why it's a good idea to start learning other languages and put that Rosetta Stone thing into use. Because it's not so much about knowing how to speak it as much as learning to understand it. And if you can understand it, then you can kind of come up with different ways of saying things. Because remember what happened when you first learned those couple words in Spanish? Like, you were saying sex things. You understood sex stuff. Mujer, bebé, el muchacho. La mujer, bebé, la muchacho. El muchacho. El muchacho come la mujer. The man eats the woman. La mujer, beber, el muchacho. The man drinks the woman. The man. The woman drinks the man. The woman drinks the man and the man eats the woman. But it's the visual component of it. What do you mean the woman drinks the man? Well, get a little colorful with that. So now, see how you took like 4 words and you that make a concept, and then you turn that concept into a mental image. And you only did it with 4 words. Well, 3 words actually. You created like a 4th dimension just with 3 words. That's it. 3 very basic words. And that's having absolutely no, well, we're going to say that's going to have little to no experience speaking Spanish whatsoever. And that was a nice thing about Rosetta Stone, is that it's not teaching you the words per se, but the concepts that form the word. And then you paint a mental picture with the words. That may be obvious to some, may not be obvious to some. So now imagine doing something like that with a programming language. Like you can conceptualize things in a different way. So you get most people that are taking that thing, that they're not doing it the same way you are, because you're applying the principles that you learned from Hebrew and putting them together with other languages. That word is like a symbol for that thing. Like you're reading other languages like you would read tarot cards. It's fucking impressive. Which is probably how it's supposed to be. I think America's the problem. I don't want to be in America anymore. America's so like, are other countries like this? Like I have to imagine that there's other countries where people are more expansive in their thinking. More forward thinking. Where are forward thinking people? What do I have to do to be more accepted by forward thinking people? By accepting them. So I know exactly what you mean. Okay. Okay, I've been spending too much time with the wrong crowd. So start to upgrade the people that I spend my time with. Okay. So we should go back to masterclass. Yeah, absolutely. Right, you got all these things. You have so many resources at your disposal at this exact moment that you literally could do anything you want. All those books, all those games, all the training modules. Like you can go in so many different directions at the same time, and then treat it like chaos magic. Well, I think that's kind of where this is kind of going right now. Is like all of the things kind of represent chaos, and it's like maybe it's a good idea to appreciate how all these things came together, I guess. Oh fuck! I think I'm just getting bored. What's that really to be bored about? What would you rather be doing? Sex. I like to incorporate sex into my life. Kind of affection. It doesn't have to be penetration sex, like some kind of fucking affection. I think that's the thing. I think my body is just like, my body, my mind, and my fucking heart are fucking starved of affection. I'm like, where's the actual motivation to do all these things? What the hell am I doing it for? What is this? Hello? Mother. Do you fucking call him? Thank you. Okay. I get it. I have to reestablish myself amongst the few. Try to get back into that energetic space. Because the only affection that we're getting is the affection that I give to myself. So, start being more affectionate to yourself. Be more affectionate to myself. Above all, be true to thine own self. Be loyal to your own self. Who gives a fuck what everyone else is doing or what everyone else wants. Because one, there's nobody that you're not gonna find a diamond in the fucking rough where you're at. That's for fucking sure. So maybe just start doing things. Start doing the things that you need to be doing in order to get to where you're going. Remember that whole idea? Remember why we got the Rosetta Stone? Remember, you can't be a CEO of a German company if you can't speak German. Right. And no one says you gotta be fucking fluent in it, as long as you can understand it. It's not a matter of being able to speak it, it's a matter of being able to go, I know exactly what you're saying and I don't like it. Or I love what you're saying. Okay? Como se escribe? I learned that in high school. I mean, I've been taking it that the oversaturation of the spiritual and occult communities and metaphysical communities is just kind of a sign like, yeah, you got this. You got that. You have that you got that market covered. Don't even worry about it. Because what was the idea? What's the idea of what we're doing anyways? Like, marrying multiple different types of fucking religious thought and just taking the theosophy out of any kind of philosophy. Doing what you did with all the religious and mystical aspects and then applying it to other areas of learning. Look at Masterclass. You were talking about Masterclass yesterday. Remember all that stuff that we were doing and you learned all this stuff? Just from listening to people, giving you ideas, having them inspire things. What was the thing that Lars said? It's like once you start making your art for other people, once you make art for other people, it's not your art anymore. Yeah, but if you don't do what people want, then you won't be successful. Define success. If everybody's doing what everybody else wants, and everyone's getting the same results, what does that tell you? That there's something that everyone else is doing that I'm not doing? Yeah, what do you think that is? Well, I'm thinking of like a couple YouTube channels at the moment, and even people that I see on Facebook. People are teaching other people how to be them. You gotta do this. This is the one secret that could save your soul. You're doing it all wrong. Here's the right way. So why the fuck would you want to be listening to people who talk like that? It's a good point. Well, I don't know. I think part of the reason that I would want to listen to people talking like that is to kind of differentiate myself and go, okay, I wouldn't be doing that. That's not how I would approach that. The frig. Hello. You're not talking. It's worth a shot. You never know. Well, you never know who's going to call. That's why I like to pick up the phone. I can see you thinking about it right now. You think about how to extract the spirit of something out of something. Yeah. Kind of like how I was doing with Masterclass. Like, remember when we were watching the one with, I forget his name, the Grandmaster, Grandmaster chess player. Right, and then what did you do? I started playing myself in chess. Yeah, it's one thing to beat somebody else, but it's another thing to play with yourself. And what happened? What did you realize when you were doing that? I realized the complexities of chess are dependent upon which side of the board that you're playing on. Right. Expand on that. Right, because when you're playing black, you're playing offensive. Defensive. You're supposed to play defensive. And then if you're playing white, you got to play offensive. Right? So it's not a matter of... So I guess when you're playing black, really, the intention is to play to lose, because by playing to lose, you're actually confusing your opponent by doing things that they wouldn't expect you to do, because most chess players, I guess, I would presume they just apply the same like standards on each side. I don't really know though. I've never took a class to say that's for sure, but that's just kind of the way that I'm looking at it, because white always goes first, which means that white's always going to be the aggressor. Black always goes second as a counter to white, which means that black is more of the defensive, going, all right, motherfucker, take a step. So the one thing that black has an advantage of, the black advantage is, see, white privilege is knowing that you get to go first, so you get to make the first move. But in any kind of martial arts training, I believe it's pretty much standard operating procedure to allow the other person to make the first move and then using their momentum against them, depending on the type of martial arts that you take. So using that principle, using the principles of martial arts with chess, I mean, you could say that the best tactic for playing black always is to just sit back and let, I guess, well, that's a good idea too, is to, if you're going to play chess, then it's probably a good idea to learn all of the tactics that you possibly can. And then from the black perspective, because you know that white's always going to be the aggressor in the situation. So how do you counter someone at first? You play it in an unorthodox manner. And I think that's the issue is with chess, I believe, is that it's traditionally played from a conventional manner depending on which way you go. Like, I would even suggest watching some lectures on playing white and playing black and seeing if you notice any differentials, because someone's going to explain something that you don't know, because clearly you're not a chess master nor like a chess, well, nor of a novice, but I mean, you played yourself and the game did come to a conclusion about 3 times. That's not something I believe that most people do. So you can put yourself in a category of saying that your unconventional way of thinking kind of puts you aside from everybody else. So it's just a matter of just nurturing that, because how long have you really been doing this for? Nurturing like your own creativity and your own inner self? Like, how long have you been doing that for? About 5 years. Well, consider that you're now 5 years ahead of the curve for every other person that has not been doing exactly what you've been doing. Because the only way to get you as an outcome is to do exactly what you did and have the entire life that you've had. And being that not everybody has had the same life as you, then that means that you have something on everybody else. Plus, you've been doing all this extra work. So everything you do is like a part of that legacy that you're making for yourself. So kind of look at it like that. It's like you don't even realize it, but you've been creating this like breadcrumb trail that not only is good for you. I mean, remember that what we read last. Remember we did the Gemini sequence yesterday, right? Right. But beforehand, we scrolled back to see where we left off. And when we read the notes on where we left off, we were reading that Crowley book, Magic Without Tears. Remember that? I do. And I remember what he said, because I know where you're going with this, which is write about your life. This way you can remember where you came from. Right. So I would say that considering where you came from, specifically, you owe it to those people, those versions of yourself, to make the most out of everything you have right now and give them an opportunity to take control too, because you never know. Remember that saying? I know you're remembering it. If I knew now what I knew then, what would your past version, what would your past self, there's a better question. People keep on asking that. Like, what's the advice that you would give your future, your past self? Well, I ask your past self what advice they would give their future self. Knowing what they know about you as so far. Because they're in there. What advice would I give myself? What would 15-year-old me give me advice? Use the magic to get laid. Alright. Yo, you should totally use the magic to make a video game because that's what I always wanted to do. Alright, you should totally use the magic to make music because that's what I always wanted to do. Alright. Could we throw in fucking 3D design too? Oh man, I would love to get into that. 3D modeling and stuff. .3D printing. I like that idea. I actually like that idea. There are things I can do. I always wanted to make a movie, an animated movie. That's a lot of work, though. Of course it is. It's not supposed to be easy. Well, if you think it's going to be a lot of work, then you're going to beat yourself up before you actually get it done. Try to imagine the end product first, because now you have at least, and I hate using this word, but you at least have something practical and down to earth that is understandable to people. Because you do have to talk in people language too, you know? So consider the fact that you were capable of taking old ambitions and old dreams and merge them into something that is not only doable, but probably a lot more fun than you realize. Because everything you're saying is not that difficult. And consider that you don't have to worry about money ever again. Like, you can do it within some months, some years. Months? Because who knows, maybe you just need the principles of these things. I mean, you can write books. You do write books, see? So you can do things. So you're in a much better position than you're giving yourself credit for. So, like, you're smart, you're capable, you're handsome. People are jealous of you. People wish they could be you. You don't see it because they're not going to tell you that to stroke your ego, but that's why we have what they don't. We have two egos that are supposed to be intertwined forever and hate each other, but we were actually able to make them fall in love with each other. So you might actually be ahead of like 99.998% of the curve. Like, you literally could be in the top percentile and you just don't even realize because nobody's fucking milking your udders for you. So, but that's the thing, is like, you have the capacity to milk your own udders, so start milking away, my boy. And we've been at this long enough to realize ain't nobody gonna try to stop you. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. Alright. And don't forget, there's a divinity that's out there that's gonna fucking hold your hand the whole fucking time, whether you realize it or not. So what's something that we can do together? How do we put the light side and the dark side together? Like something to really fuck with people's heads. Something in reverse. How would you do that? How would you create a song in reverse? Start it from the end? I'm sorry. How do you start a song at the end? I don't understand that. asymmetrical music, abstract music, asymmetrical, experimental. All right. I mean, I like the idea where you're going with it. Piece of music that makes more sense backwards than it does forward. I don't know. I don't understand that. Take the principles and concepts and you reverse them. Okay. The whole thing. I can feel you getting smarter. Okay. All right. I feel it. I feel it. Like it's forming. It's not solid, but the core is there. Exactly. All right. I feel like we got this. First step is to take the first step. And then once you take the first step, take a quick break to look back to see how many steps came before the first step. And then try to imagine how many steps you've actually taken. Meanwhile, you just thought that you only took one. Okay. And also, think of it like this. Oh, I feel... Are we doing this? We already started. So basically all I needed to do was just think backwards to think forwards? Yeah, that's it, man. You did it. And you got all the stuff at home. Yeah, so here's a really good idea. We'll attempt to do this. I'm not no brownie points taken away if you don't pull it off. Go home and start mapping out. Start mapping out what it looks like. Teach something without teaching it. What's your favorite thing to do in the entire world? Think. How do you teach people to think without teaching them? By teaching them to think for themselves. Not a bad answer. What's another way? Embed the lesson into something completely unrelated. Like teaching people how to write music. Teaching people to write music. Oh my God, that's so awesome. The Joan Jett rendition of Season of the Witches came on. I love that song. No, but to like kind of teach people how to write music by encoding the lesson within the story of a fucking serial killer. How the fuck do you do that? That's just like a strange idea. Sex education in the alphabet. Don't forget what you are, bastard. Okay. I'm excited to see where this goes. Me too. Because think of it like this, we're only 3 days out since the fucking new moon, so realistically, we're not even that far into this cycle. We still got another 3.5 weeks left. So, why don't you set the intention to be done with everything in the next 3 weeks? Okay. I set the intention to be done with everything in the next 3 weeks. Alright, well now set the intention to be done with half of everything in the next 3 weeks. Alright? I set the intention to be done with everything in the next 3 weeks. Almost done with everything in the next 3 weeks. Halfway done. Alright, now set the intention. Set the intention to not get a goddamn thing done over the next 3 weeks. Alright, my intention is not to do shit for the next 3 weeks. Encode magic theory into something completely unrelated. And then low-key fucking create an army of witches. Hi, you're a witch now. Or one that you could just use on yourself to reinforce all the things that you are currently aware of. This way that you can apply it to something that you would use. Here's an idea. Go back and finish that David Lynch class, and then watch the dude with the video games. And just fucking plow through them. Like, just listen to what they're saying. Like, just lie there, just chill, relax. Go to school for a little bit. Like big kid school. I can see your little brain stem's fucking growing. That's good. I think like that. Don't even worry about where you're gonna start. Remember what happened last time when you first wanted to get into the occult? You're just looking for where to start. And you just went around in a fucking cyclone, and then everything that you needed just kind of fell in your lap. Thinking this is the same way. Try to imagine that all of the things that don't have a spirit, don't have a divinity to them, imagine that they really do. And that it's all going to find you. Just like it all started coming to the surface right now. Go into one of your old rooms, see what was so great about it, and then bring it to the new room and redecorate.